For years, we taught students a simple rule of thumb for navigating the internet. If a website looks terrible, be suspicious. Poor grammar, messy formatting, and broken links were signs that the information itself might be compromised. But generative AI has erased those red flags. A completely fabricated historical event can now be written in flawless academic prose, and a non-existent scientific phenomenon can be illustrated beautifully. The aesthetic warning signs are gone. It is helpful to draw a distinction here. AI-generated content simply describes a production method. A teacher using an AI system to brainstorm reading comprehension questions and then manually editing them for their classroom is creating AI-generated content. That process is enormously useful. The problem emerges with AI slop, where generation replaces human judgment. Because the technology costs almost nothing to run, a single person can produce thousands of articles, images, or videos in a fraction of a second. This model relies on sheer volume. Creators flood platforms with cheap material to ensure a small percentage inevitably captures clicks and ad revenue. We are entering an environment where terrible information looks exceptionally good. Professional presentation can no longer be used as a proxy for factual accuracy. Confronted with this reality, the immediate reaction from educators is to search for a technological shield, software that can scan a student's essay or an online resource and flag it as artificial. But treating AI detection software as a truth machine is a trap. These tools fail constantly. They produce false negatives, letting synthetic writing slip through, and false positives, flagging entirely human writing as machine-generated. The accuracy rates are so unreliable that developers like OpenAI have discontinued their own text classifiers. Relying on these broken tools creates a toxic dynamic in the classroom. When every unusual sentence or polished paragraph is treated with suspicion, it sparks a witch hunt. A student accused of misconduct over a flawed percentage score loses trust in their teacher and the educational process itself. As AI tools become embedded in grammar checkers, translation apps, and research organizers, trying to neatly slice the internet into human and AI buckets is impossible. Focusing on that boundary only distracts us from teaching actual media literacy. We have to change the primary question we ask about media. We need to stop asking, was this written by AI? And start asking, are these claims reliable and can I verify them? Low-quality automated content often relies on formulaic transitions, phrases like furthermore or ultimately, that mask a lack of substance. It also tends to project a generic authority, providing advice so broad that it says very little that could actually be challenged. You will also notice a combination of high confidence and low specificity. A sentence might declare that studies consistently demonstrate a significant improvement without ever naming the researchers, identifying the methods, or linking to the actual research. Perhaps the most severe warning sign is the inclusion of plausible, professionally formatted citations that simply cannot be located. Generative systems regularly invent authors, article titles, and URLs. A bibliography no longer guarantees research. Sometimes it just means you need to double-check the links. Finally, watch for emotional optimization. Clicks are farmed through headlines and images engineered to trigger immediate outrage or fear. These strong emotional provocations indicate a need for more verification, as the content prioritizes engagement over information. Taken together, these clusters of warning signs demonstrate a consistent pattern. The material provides the appearance of evidence without providing any of the evidence itself. Teachers cannot fact-check every sentence on the internet, but you can protect your lesson plans with a practical external filtering routine. Before adopting a new resource, pause. Once you find independent sources, compare them. The final decision doesn't have to be a rigid true or false binary. You might conclude the resource is trustworthy, unverifiable, or highly misleading. Teaching ourselves to become comfortable saying, "I cannot verify this," is a responsible, intellectual conclusion. To save time, build a trusted ecosystem up front. Start closer to primary sources. Searching directly within university databases, recognized professional associations, and curriculum authorities cuts down the volume of low-quality material you have to filter out later. Artificial intelligence is a tool to help accelerate your lesson preparation, but it cannot outsource your professional responsibility to verify the facts. This filtering routine ensures you remain in control of the material you bring into the classroom. We don't need a brand new subject called How to Spot AI. Instead, we need to embed a culture of evidence into the classes we already teach. We must habitually ask our students, how do we know, and where did that information come from, until they start asking those questions themselves. Teach them the SLOP checklist: source, look for evidence, outside confirmation, and purpose. Practice by having students rank reliable versus AI-generated sources based on citations. Then do a find the original exercise to track down raw data. These routines strip away the fear of the technology. They transition students from passive pattern recognizers into active investigators of knowledge. This leads to an often overlooked challenge: attention literacy. In an environment where the volume of automated content is infinitely scaling, a student's attention is a strictly limited resource. The internet rewards endless consumption. Students need to know that they are not obligated to debunk every strange claim they encounter. It is intellectually responsible to recognize when a source gives no reason to invest time, allowing you to simply move on to a better source. Generative AI changes the scale of the misinformation problem, but the intellectual foundation of teaching remains the same. We already teach students how to question sources and distinguish hard evidence from a confident assertion. AI simply makes these existing skills more urgent. The future internet will be saturated with synthetic information. We will never be able to inspect every image or fact-check every sentence. The essential skill in this environment is discernment, knowing exactly what deserves our trust.